Log on to ocraffle.org and win your dream home or $1 million cash. It's simple. ocraffle.org for complete details. Look for the AM 830 special. Your donations go to the Southern California Alcohol and Drug Recovery Foundation. They are a nonprofit dedicated to assisting individuals to recover from alcoholism and drug addiction. They need your help. Log on right now to raffle.org and mention AM 830 or KLAA and get the AM 830 special. Buy 2 tickets, get the 3rd ticket free. Here's your chance to win $1 million in cash or $1 million dream home in Newport Beach. There's tons of other great cash and prizes. It's simple. Just log on to ocraffle.org. Time is running out. Log on now, ocraffle.org, and win $1 million.
Must be 18 years or older. All 18,000 tickets must be sold to award the grand prize. See website for rules and regulations. California State Permit R5833.
The following is a paid program. Opinions expressed are those of the program sponsors and not necessarily the views of AM 830, its owners, or management.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio on AM 830 KLAA. Now, live in studio, your host, local real estate expert, Ron Siegel.
Southern California. Welcome to Ron Siegel's Real Talk on the Real Estate Radio Network. Real Estate Radio is a show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, and even poking fun at the rest of the media. But our main focus is building Southern California real estate with accurate, real-time advice. And being that we're here broadcasting live from Angel Stadium, we get to discuss a little bit of sports before we go in there. My passion. As most of you regular listeners know, I am a big-time USC fan. Maybe not such a big Lane Kiffin fan, but a big USC fan. So I was happy to see that 50-16 win yesterday. And two of my other favorite teams did real well also. I've said many times one of my favorite teams is anybody who plays Notre Dame. They did good yesterday. Stanford, hopefully they won't do so good when they play USC. And this week I added Texas since they were playing UCLA, but unfortunately they didn't do quite as well. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad. And then yesterday, spent a little time yesterday with my friends over at Freedom First Properties, and it was really nice to be able to meet so many people over there. Great workshop there on foreclosure avoidance. We brought some of our team members from the radio show over there, got to meet some of the listeners. We had our bankruptcy attorney firm over there. We had our loan mod firm over there. That was kind of nice. And a lot of the people from Freedom First were there, so we had a good time over there. Oh, boy. Now, get to talk to you guys this morning, and I've got some great guests in studio. We'll get to them in just one second. But again, I want to remind everybody, this is Real Estate Radio. It's a program dedicated to teaching you the why and the how-to within Southern California's marketplace. So if you ever have any real estate-related questions, here's the off-air number to call, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. We can direct you with all your real estate needs with free advice. If I don't know the answer, the likelihood is very good that I know somebody who does, and that's why we have this team put together, real estate agents all over the Southland. We have the bankruptcy attorneys, we have the loan mod folks, we've got credit repair specialists, financial planners, all people on my speed dial. So if you need any help in any of these things, the number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. I'll help you personally. If it comes into the mortgage area, that's my world. Even if you don't have any real estate needs today, save the number in your phone for future reference. Today we've got a ton of stuff to talk about. We were off last week so we could listen to the Angel game. I'm a little depressed right now after listening to Texas win the West yesterday. It's been a while, so we've got a great run here at Angel Stadium and following the Angels, but a little depressing. But we're going to talk about a lot of stuff today. We've got John Muratore in studio with us. A lot of you have heard me talk about John over the past weeks and his investment product. He can't tell you, but I can. We're going to go rogue today. We're not going to do a lot of our normal stuff. We're going rogue. Being that it is Sunday morning, 10 o'clock, the people that run the Real Estate Radio Network are probably all still sleeping, even though they're in Laguna Hills. So Ronnie Q doesn't listen to me, so we can talk straight. I'm going to go off our normal format, do a lot of different things, but John's here, so we're going to talk about his program. And being that I'm no longer a financial advisor, I don't have to tell anybody that past performance is no indication of future results. I'm not going to say that. I don't have to anymore. John tells everybody that. That's his world, but I don't have to say that anymore. I have to deal with the mortgage stuff. And we've got Mike Dunn in the studio today, and I was really excited to learn about his programs, buying houses at the courthouse steps and not having to go and do it yourself. So Mike does that for people, and we're going to talk to Mike about that. We've also got a stack of articles here that I've accumulated over the last couple weeks. We're going to get into that with our guests. We've got a list of the 10 most expensive U.S. housing markets. One thing to remember, I've added a new process. If you go to our Facebook page, it's facebook.com/Real Estate Radio with Ron. No spaces. Don't worry about the space bar. Any of the articles we talk about, you can grab a copy of them right there on our Facebook page. So go there and get those. And now we're going to get rolling. So again, a quick reminder before we get started. Any topics you have, just call questions. Call our 800 number, 800-306-1990, and I will personally advise you. As a regular listener to the show, I know you're aware that we go against the grain of the rest of the media to give you real-time, accurate market updates. The rest of the media tends to be inaccurate, outdated, and biased. We are here to get it right so you can make an educated decision about your real estate, and it starts with examining what happened this week. And this segment is brought to you by Greifendorf Law Offices. John and Christine speak with people every day who confront unmanageable debt. I guess I better read it right. Their clients are good, hardworking people who are faced with financial crisis, whether it's loss of income, illness, or injury, military duty, even divorce. There are many sources of the problem. Bankruptcy was created for this very reason, to give good people in tough financial times a fresh start. Call our off-air number if you need to be put in touch with them. Lots of real estate news this past week, and I'm just going to touch on some of it. And again, like I say, we're going rogue, so we're not going to do a whole lot of it. But we did get to listen to our president speak again Monday in his town hall meeting. Tuesday, we had the Fed meeting. They kept the rates at 0 to 0.25%. That's a good opportunity for us to remember we still are in one of the best times in 60 years to refinance. If you've got anything other than a 3 or a 4 at the beginning of your mortgage rates, you should be giving us a call to find out, or call some mortgage professional to find out if now is the right time for you. Wednesday, again, not much housing, but I'm going to ask Mike this. I read Mike's bio, and Mike speaks about 1 million languages. And I have trouble with English, but on Wednesday, I should say, Starbucks came out with a note that said that they're going to raise prices on all their coffees. Now, I took a little bit of Spanish. I don't know, Mike, do you speak Spanish, Mike?
Poquito,
okay. They have, the smallest coffee they offer is called a grande. Now, when I took Spanish, grande meant large. Did I miss something in that Spanish class?
No, that's right, yeah.
Okay, so large, I guess in their word, large is small and small is large, or something like that. I don't know. The only thing I noticed that's big at Starbucks is the prices.
Absolutely.
Moving along in the week, Thursday, existing home sales were at 4.13 million units, 4,130,000 units, above expectations. We should welcome any positive news in that area. Initial jobless claims came in at 465,000, above the 450,000 that was expected, the first rise in over a month. Not good news for the marketplace, not good news for the people that lost their jobs. Should be good news for the mortgage rates. So we'll see what happens there. Friday, we didn't get any good signal on the markets to figure out where we're going. The prices closed just below the 25-day moving average, but not convincingly. Stock markets rallied big on Friday after some decent economic news and after a noted hedge fund manager primarily said that to invest in bonds. That's what he does, and said that stocks could be the play for the near future. Investors bought equities hand over fist to push the stocks to their fourth weekly gain. Unfortunately, the gains in equities came at the expense of the bond markets. Our 3.5% coupon fell 31 basis points to end the session at par 28 or 128 and closed just near support. That's the bottom. And again, remember, with all this technical stuff, and I've got a friend of mine that told me I get too technical, Remember that when the bonds go up, interest goes down. When bonds go down, interest goes up. So we want to see those bonds moving in the right direction. Next week's data includes consumer confidence, GDP, and a reading on inflation. That's the market update for the week. So now we're going to also talk about a little bit about the mortgage rates. Again, this third week in a row that they went up. So I'm not at a point now to tell you that you've missed the opportunity to refinance, but that window might be closing. It's actually probably shrinking. We know that the FHA rules are changing the 4th of October. They pushed that back. So even if you've got a great interest rate and you're in those 3s and 4s, if it's FHA loan, they're going to almost double the amount of your monthly mortgage insurance premium. So take this opportunity to make things happen there. You're listening to the Real Estate Radio Network with Ron Siegel, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, John, Mike, and I are going to discuss a tremendous investment opportunity that has been yielding double-digit returns for 19 consecutive years, the long-term benefits of home ownership, and how to purchase foreclosed homes on the courthouse steps. Remember to reach me anytime. Call our off-air number, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or realestatewithron.com. Connect with us on Facebook. Stay tuned to the Real Estate Radio Network. We'll be back in just a few.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestatewithron.com for more info. That's realestatewithron.com.
Are you tired of losing money due to the risk associated with the stock, bond, and real estate markets? Well, there's a new asset class in town that has captured the wisdom of Warren Buffett. According to the Wall Street Journal and CNN Money, Buffett has invested billions into this asset class that offers safety, security, diversification, and superior return potential. For years, the smaller investors have been locked out of this investment. Hi, I'm John Muratore, President of Pacific Partners, Inc., a financial service company, and I would like to ask you a question. If this asset is good enough for Warren Buffett, is it good enough for you? Call us today to set up a free, no-obligation appointment to discuss your finances and an investment solution that can meet your needs. For complete details, call us at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990, and tell us you want what Warren has.
Real Estate Radio is hosted by local real estate and finance expert Ron Siegel. The purpose of this show is to help consumers understand what's really going on in our local real estate market. We're teaching you the why and the how-to, so you'll always be one step ahead of everyone else. Whether you need to sell your home for top dollar, refinance and save money, or even buy a bargain in Southern California, Ron Siegel can help. Call Ron directly at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Take advantage of speaking with Ron anytime you're entering a real estate transaction. Having someone who can answer all of your questions that truly cares about you and your family's best interest is priceless. Call Ron Siegel today and you'll be glad you did. 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or you can visit realestatewithron.com for more info. Have you asked your employer what kind of home mortgage benefits your company offers? Cal Home Benefits has a complete range of home and mortgage benefits, which can save you $5,000 to $10,000 on your living expenses, and the benefit program is completely free to California businesses and groups. If your company or group is not offering home and mortgage benefits, please visit calhomebenefits.com or call 1-800-998-1990. That's 1-800-998-1990. It's free to the organization and can save you thousands. Reverse mortgages are loans against the equity of a senior American's home. With a reverse mortgage, the homeowner can convert their home equity into cash. It also benefits homeowners in many other ways. With most types of the loans, the lender verifies your income and uses that figure to determine the amount you'll be able to pay. You don't have to satisfy the monthly repayments with a reverse mortgage. Homeowners over the age of 62 years may apply for a reverse mortgage, even without any income. For more information about reverse mortgages, just call our off-air number at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit realestatewithron.com and click the free workshop button.
Have you been to car dealers only to be disappointed by their small inventory? That's not the case at Connell Nissan in Costa Mesa. The Connell family has been serving the community for well over 40 years. Connell Nissan in Costa Mesa wants to buy your car or truck. That's right. Go to ConnellNissan.com to receive your estimated value 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's CONNELL Nissan.com. Or better yet, take the 405 freeway, Harbor Boulevard exit, go south towards the beach about 1 mile to Connell Nissan in Costa Mesa.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio with local expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Radio. I, of course, am Ron Siegel, and I'm joined this morning by John Muratore and Mike Dunn.
Hello.
Okay, as you're aware, Real Estate Radio is not only designed to educate, but to entertain Southern California. The best place to start is a real story of how we've helped someone, and that's kind of an interesting story because, again, we're going rogue today, and we're going to, instead of talking about a real estate story, I'm going to read an email that I got. Now, I like to do some diligence before I bring people into the studio and I meet with the folks. I like to go to their offices, see what their companies are all about. And I was actually talking to John about some stuff for my parents. And I was looking at an email that John sent over to me. And it was a pretty interesting story, and we're gonna talk to John in just a minute. But this real-time story being brought to you by Pacific Partners. If you're tired of watching your investments ride a roller coaster and would like a safe double-digit return, you should speak with my friend John, like I asked my parents to at Pacific Partners. Just call our off-air number at 800-306-1990, and I'll introduce you. But I'm looking at this email. It's dated May 7, 2010. I'm going to leave the names off. And again, I don't have to tell you all the disclosure that John would if he was doing it. But this was a recent maturity that John had on this product that he deals with. And it was for a policy. It was an investment that was made November 2009. With John's program here, they put these investments in, and they're investing in life insurance or in life insurance policies. And I love this. Initially, I thought, boy, this is a morbid world, John. But then I realized that you guys are actually giving people at the end of their lives quality of life. And that was really a nice thing to when you realize that side of it. But this one here, an investment that was initiated November 2009, matured, and you guys can't control the maturity dates. That's the big question mark about your program, right?
That's right, we can't.
Matured March 2010. I don't know if it says on here what the expected investment time was on here. It probably does somewhere, and I just don't know where to look at it. But the investor put in $30,000 into this investment, and they were expected to get $50,000. Now, in your world, we basically know the initial investment, and you know the return, and you know the money that's going to come back. You just don't know when.
That's right. It's bought at a discount, so you have a known discount, so you know what you're going to earn ahead of time, and we just don't know when, and what the annual return is going to be.
Okay, so this one here again, November 2009. Money was returned March 2010. Investment $30,000. Projected payout $50,000. The policy paid a little earlier than expected, and they had expected it from this particular portion of the investment to have about $9,500 in premiums that they were going to have to pay, but they didn't need to. So the check coming back on that $30,000 investment after, was that 5 months, if my math is right, was just under $60,000.
That's correct.
That's just amazing.
It is what it is.
That is just amazing. Amazing. Now, I bet you could find a lot of people to invest if you could guarantee that, but we know that you can't guarantee it.
There are no guarantees. Past performance is not a result of what's going to go in the future. But,
I knew you'd get that in there.
We've had very good success with it overall historically, and these policies are called life settlements. Very simply, a life settlement is the purchase of an existing life insurance policy at a discount on a terminally ill or elderly person. And those are bought at a known discount, so when they pay out, there's a life expectancy factor. And that particular case that you mentioned there, where the gentleman got paid off early, the life expectancy was roughly 3 years. It paid off in 4 months, so we had a premium refund on that one. So that boosted the yield up to, I believe, about 200%.
It says 230 is what the email that I'm looking at. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, so that'll happen. That's one of the cases that will occur. And but this is a long-term investment specifically used for IRA, 401k money, long-term money, pension money. It's been a very safe, secure, sound investment for over 20 years.
I like that idea. That was the thing that intrigued me, because there was two components of risk that I looked at. And you'll correct me if I'm wrong, but one component of risk was, are people that are 78 years of age and older, who in many cases are terminally ill, are they going to die? Now, at some point in time, we know that's going to happen. I mean, I don't think that the medical world has gotten real good, but I think that's going to happen. And our insurance companies going to pay off, and they've done that. It's always happened on life insurance policies.
Well, I'm glad you asked that, Ron, because in the 270-year history of the United States, there's never been an A-rated legal reserve life insurance company default on a death benefit. Never.
Okay, and then the other part of it that that's awesome stuff. Now, the other part of it that I liked also was, when I first thought of it, I went and I talked to my wife, I spoke to some other folks, and said, boy, that's a morbid world. And you know something, it really is, but until you look at it and say, okay, some of these people, now this $30,000, that's a fractional ownership. Explain us to a fractional ownership.
Correct. These policies that are purchased by an investor are bought in fractions of the policy. So you're in the investment with several, could be 200-300 investors in one policy, but you're directly invested in the policy. So when that person, when that policyholder passes, then you collect as a beneficiary.
Okay, and then the beauty of it was, this is the part that I really liked, because this is where the beauty is of it. The beauty, in my eyes, now you might, again, John, tell me, but looking again, I did this as a shopper looking with my parents. The beauty of it is that in many instances, these folks are letting these policies expire. When they expire, the people get absolutely nothing. But your company, or the company that you guys work with, you're going to go out there and give these people money for the policy, for the right to get this future benefit. So you're giving them money to enjoy in the later years of their lives.
That's correct. Yeah, the policies are bought from people that no longer need or want or can't afford to pay the premiums. They're usually on wealthy individuals who have bought the policies for estate planning purposes, Q-Man company policies, and these policies are $4, $5, $7, $10, $20 million. So the premiums get pretty hefty, and so they get a chance and an opportunity to sell that policy to an investor versus selling it back to the insurance company for cash surrender value, which is typically a nickel on the dollar.
So you guys are giving them more money than what they would have got otherwise, so they can actually enjoy the fruits of it, or they can, if it was in their financial plan to give it to their heirs, then they can really be giving it to them now and watching them enjoy that money.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. Now I can see why, after looking at your being basically since 1978, I'm looking at your bio, you were on the debt side of the world, now you went over to the asset side of the world.
That's right.
I can understand why you're excited doing this.
I am. I was a mortgage banker for 30 years and enjoy that business. I still do some real estate. My wife, Renee's a realtor, and we still dabble in real estate investments and private equities. But this particular investment has captured my attention, but not only my attention, as you've heard in my commercials, it captured the attention of one of the richest men in the world, and that's Warren Buffett, who has over $4 billion of his own personal money invested in these. And
wow.
And I think if it's good enough for Warren Buffett, it's good enough for everybody else.
I wouldn't mind having just a part of that money to put in there.
Exactly.
And that was another thing at one of your seminars. And I know we'll be talking in the future about John does seminars. At one of your seminars, they were talking about the fact that the insurance companies are actually putting their money into this also, as long as it's not with covered people who are they're insured.
That's right. They use it as a hedge for their own investments. You mentioned earlier about policies lapsing. The reason the insurance companies are so wealthy is because 95% of the policies lapse after 10 years. So the insurance companies have captured all these premiums but never had to pay out a benefit. So their coffers are full.
Guess that's why we look around in all of the major cities around the country, and the biggest buildings all have insurance company names on the top.
Exactly.
Well, you're listening to the Real Estate Radio Network with Ron Siegel, discussing real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, John, Mike, and I are going to continue our discussion on this tremendous investment opportunity that has been yielding double-digit returns for 19 consecutive years, the long-term benefits of home ownership, and how to purchase foreclosed homes on the courthouse steps. Remember, for your questions or comments about anything we have discussed today, or any questions you might have, you can reach me anytime. Call our off-air number, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990, or realestatewithron.com. Stay tuned to the Real Estate Radio Network. We'll be back in just a few.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestatewithron.com for more info. That's realestatewithron.com.
Are you tired of losing money due to the risk associated with the stock, bond, and real estate markets? Well, there's a new asset class in town that has captured the wisdom of Warren Buffett. According to the Wall Street Journal and CNN Money, Buffett has invested billions into this asset class that offers safety, security, diversification, and superior return potential. For years, the smaller investors have been locked out of this investment. Hi, I'm John Muratore, President of Pacific Partners, Inc., a financial service company, and I would like to ask you a question. If this asset is good enough for Warren Buffett, is it good enough for you? Call us today to set up a free, no-obligation appointment to discuss your finances and an investment solution that can meet your needs. For complete details, call us at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990, and tell us you want what Warren has.
Determining the truth about reverse mortgages is not easy. You need to be educated on the program so that you can make the best decision for your personal situation. Basically, if you get a reverse mortgage, you'll be getting a loan that will allow you to have a monthly income coming in, or a large lump sum at once, or a credit line. You can get any combination of these things as well. If you have an existing loan, it will be paid off, so you will not have a house payment. The monthly income you receive from the reverse mortgage is guaranteed, and you will receive it as long as you remain living in the home. Regardless of the length of your life, your debt can never be more than the worth of your home. For more information about reverse mortgages, just call our off-air number at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990, or visit realestatewithron.com and click the free workshop button.
Hi, we're here with Ron Siegel, the host of Real Estate Radio. Ron, welcome to the studio. Give us insight as to what your show is all about.
Hi, Eric. Thanks for having me. Thanks for asking me that question. The reason we developed Real Estate Radio is right now there is an abundance of misinformation out there. So Real Estate Radio is a show designed to give Southern California a focal point for their real estate knowledge, as well as a place to go just in case they might need anything real estate related.
So how are you helping people?
That's actually pretty simple. People need advice. So it really doesn't matter who you are. If you have any real estate questions, we're here to help. Whether you're buying a home, selling, you're experiencing a loan modification, short sale, foreclosure, there are a lot of things going on in this marketplace.
How can people get a hold of you?
Real easy. All you have to do is call. The number is 1-800-306-1990. Press option 1.
Interesting times in the market right now. Where do you think the markets are going from here?
That's a great question. All I can say is this. The housing market came down one house at a time, and what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to build it one house, one family at a time. So the best thing that anyone can do is access the free advice that we really want to give you. And to do that, you simply need to call me. The number is 1-800-306-1990, option 1. I'd really love to help.
Have you been to car dealers only to be disappointed by their small inventory? That's not the case at Connell Nissan in Costa Mesa. The Connell family has been serving the community for well over 40 years. Connell Nissan in Costa Mesa wants to buy your car or truck. That's right. Go to ConnellNissan.com to receive your estimated value 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's CONNELL Nissan.com. Or better yet, take the 405 freeway, Harbor Boulevard exit, go south towards the beach about 1 mile to Connell Nissan in Costa Mesa.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio with local expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Radio Network. I, of course, am Ron Siegel, and we're discussing the current financial markets. Today, we've got an expert panel. John Muratore of Pacific Partners and Mike Dunn of Coldwell Banker Platinum Properties. Thank you for joining me, guys.
Thank you.
Remember, for any questions, please call me anytime. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or realestateradio.com. Just one more thing on with John, and we're going to really talk to Mike a lot now, is that those investments, if you want to get involved in any of the seminars that John's doing, or you want me to put you in touch with John, call that off-air number. John and I talk all the time. He's on the hotline, so we can get a hold of him and put you two together. Mr. Dunn, I love looking at your bio because I learned something new all the time. Coached baseball at my alma mater, Chapman University. Although I couldn't say Chapman University because it was still Chapman College when I was there. I don't want to date myself. But I don't know if I'm supposed to say I went to Chapman University or Chapman College now. I don't know. Another local. There's a few of us locals here. So Mike was born locally, traveled the world, speaks Hebrew, Arabic, French, Flemish. He didn't put in there English.
I don't speak them all fluently.
Oh, okay. Played baseball at the University of Texas, El Paso. Graduated from the University of Texas, Austin. In government. So you must be having fun watching all this government stuff these days.
Well, that's why I'm in real estate now.
Oh, okay. Well, and then carrying on, I like the baseball metaphors throughout your magazine. I looked at the Mike Dunn magazine here. 1998 Rookie of the Year in Real Estate for Fred Sands Platinum Properties. Those are bigwig properties, aren't they?
Yeah, Fred started in Los Angeles. He's known as the Realtor to the Stars, or was back then. And it was exciting to start off with such a small boutique company, but he had so much experience locally that I learned quite a bit from him.
Then the top 5 agent for Platinum Properties, they bought out Fred Sands 2001 to 2005. The top agent 2004 and 5. Then they were migrated over to Coldwell Banker, and again in 2006, top agent. So being at Angel Stadium, we can actually, and this being the home of the All-Star game, we've got the All-Star in studio. Wow, we're honored today. So we've got a great cast today. This is really nice. Again, I'm looking at all the articles that I'm going to talk about today, and I've got a bunch of them that Mike and I are going to chat about. You can get copies of the full article, but I was looking here, the most expensive U.S. housing markets. This is from Market Watch. Newport Beach hit number 1. Average listing price, $1.83 million. Pretty amazing. You're out there. You're in Newport Coast, Irvine.
The Irvine Ranch, which covers Laguna Beach, Newport Coast, Newport Beach, Corona Del Mar, Tustin, and, of course, Irvine.
Wow. So you're getting all the high-end stuff.
It's a good mix, actually. On the Irvine Ranch, you have everything from one-bedroom condos in the 300 range, of course, all the way up to the beachfront, which are 20, 30 million.
Wow. I better not have my wife talk to you too much. I'd be in serious trouble then. But you're doing a combination. You're doing the front-end items, the equity sales. Mm-hmm. You're also doing, you and I talked about buying the foreclosures on the courthouse steps. That was pretty interesting to me.
Yeah, I've learned a lot about that recently, obviously, with this downturn. A lot of people, just to clarify some things, some people think of a foreclosure as a bank-owned. It's actually... before it becomes bank-owned, the bank tries to sell it at the courthouse steps, and if no one buys it at the courthouse steps, then it goes back to the bank, and then they try to sell it. But I've learned a lot. There's a group of 4 of us that actually invest ourselves in foreclosures, and the discounts are pretty amazing. It's tough to buy them because you have to pay all cash, but I've learned quite a bit the last few months.
Now, you had shared with me that you guys will bridge that for people. They can get a hold of you, and you guys will go and buy the properties and then resell it. So if I wanted to buy a property I knew it was going to foreclosure, I can call you and talk to you about, you go and take care of the front end part of it.
Yes, as I said, at foreclosure it has to be all cash, so that limits the amount of people that can buy it. So
thank goodness when you're in my line of work.
So what we will do is, if someone's interested in buying a house at foreclosure, we can do it 2 ways. We can buy it for them and then flip it to them, or we'll buy it for them for a fee. They give us a deposit, and they just go ahead and buy it. But what's great about it is you can get about a 20% discount off the market at foreclosure. So even with our service fee, you're still getting it much under the market than you would regularly.
And the important part about that, and I share this with folks every single show, I harp on it probably ad nauseum, is that you could probably go and do this yourself and really go high risk, or you can pay somebody like you're talking about, a service fee, to somebody that knows what they're doing and get it done right. And generally, my findings are that it doesn't cost you anything when you hire a professional. They're gonna do things and either save you money or keep you out of trouble down the road. And I think that's what the important part is there. And I have an article here that came out the 14th of September. It's more dated than we usually use, but it's kind of the migration of I hate to use the term, but I will, scam artists. And it was a group of people that basically went from selling cars, then they got into selling mortgages. I don't know what their qualifications were. Then they went to the dreaded loan mods, and now they're doing the short sales. And to me, that's something you just got to really be careful of. Get a hold of professional agents. Look at their resume. Somebody like Mike that's been in this for a day or two. You look at his resume and interview people, find out what they know. So, again, be careful of these different articles. This actually happened to be in the San Diego Lifestyle magazine. It was started actually out of Seattle, and it was on CNBC. So be careful. Get a hold of someone like Mike that can really help you. But so you go both. You do these short sales also, don't you, Mike?
Oh yeah. I represent sellers doing short sales, buyers doing short sales. You have to have a lot of patience, obviously. But it can be done. You can get a fairly good deal, not as good as foreclosures, but if you stick it out and are patient, you can get a good deal.
So you just don't want to be looking for that's not the quick fix on the buyer side.
Correct. You have to, if you're a buyer looking at a short sale, you're going to have to allot at least minimum 3 months, probably 6 months before you get approval from the bank. And even then, the bank will come back with some other figures that they will not want to pay, that the buyer has to pay.
So you have to be prepared for the unexpected.
Correct.
And then on the foreclosures, do you have the lists of what's going to be at the courthouse steps or what you expect to be?
Yes, we get the list. It's all public information, but we subscribe to a service that tells us when they're coming up, when they get postponed. We show up every day. So we're at all 3 locations. There's one in Orange, Santa Ana, and Placentia, and we're there every day with our cashier's checks, so we get an up-to-minute update whether they get postponed or not. Now, 80% of the time they do get postponed because the government's trying to keep people in their houses. But when they do come, they come at a big discount, so you have to be ready for it.
Yeah, that's an interesting. One of the people I spoke to, it's actually going to be on our show, I think is in 2 weeks, actually is one of them that helps folks get these postponements under California state judicial law. So we've got an attorney coming on in a couple of weeks that's going to educate us on that part of it. But very interesting stuff. And I think we were talking about before we came on air, I was at a event with Ken Campbell, the CEO of Standard Pacific. He just did what you did, bought 1,400 lots at the courthouse steps. I think it was in Corona or Chino this past Thursday. So if you're thinking that now is the time to buy a home or you're thinking about these things, they just put their money where their mouth is. 1,400 lots out there. You know what they're thinking. They're not going to build them, according to what he said, tomorrow, but they're thinking that we're starting to get to the time where people should be buying. Are you seeing that as well?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Interest rates are so low. It's just amazing how much you can get for the money nowadays. And also there's, a lot of people are unfortunately hurting, so they have to get out. So the prices at the courthouse are very low, and you can get some really good discounts. Now, not only for buying it for yourself to live in, but to rent them out until the market comes back. As a matter of fact, I talked to a couple builders from the 90s, and they had wished they would have rented theirs out instead of dumping them, because when the market came back, they tripled in value.
Wow.
So if you have, the key is having patience and not trying to do what got us into this mess, which is trying to flip it the next day for 100,000 more. You want to have a long-term strategy, because you're still going to be able to eat and feed your family, and the real estate should be looked at as an investment for retirement later on. So you have the patience.
That's interesting. Ironically enough that you say that, the article that's in my hands from a very trusted source, I love reading the stuff. I get information every day from a gentleman out of New York. His name is Steve Harney. And the comment that he just sent out, or it was on one of his notices to me, was a Wall Street Journal article, 10 Reasons to Buy a Home. And a lot of what you're saying is right in there. Again, you can get this article right off of our Facebook page, Real Estate Radio with Ron. Again, no spaces, just munch all that stuff together. But number one reason is you can get a good deal. And number two reason is mortgages are cheap. And that's not according to you and I. You're out in the trenches every day. This is according to the Wall Street Journal. Mm-hmm. So they're saying the exact same things that you're saying there.
Well, I'd like to use the baseball metaphor since we're on AM 830. Every day a player shows up, takes their swings. One game they may strike out, fly out, ground out. But if they take their swings every day, they're going to maintain consistency. And that's the key to real estate, is just have a consistent outlook and don't look for the big home run, because it's the day in, day out habits that we have that will make it grow later on in 20 or 30 years whenever we retire.
You know something, that's unbelievable message right there, because when I was at Merrill Lynch, there was a lot of people doing the day trading and the flipping and all that kind of stuff. And you just knew that they were confusing being a great stock picker for a bull market. And that's one of the things that I like with both of you guys in studio today. John's got this safe investment. And when I went to one of John's seminars, I asked the question, what part of your portfolio should you invest in the life settlements? And John's partner's answer to me was, only the money that you don't want to lose, which is kind of a great thing. So, even though he's getting some great returns, you have to look long-term. You have to think about that. And I think that's what you're saying also with the real estate, is it's a long-term investment. The flippers, that's their business. They study it. It's not a part-time job.
Correct. Yeah, we're professionals. We do it. We analyze everything. And if it's not a safe bet, we won't buy it. If we think we're going to make at least 10%, then we'll buy it. But yeah, it's just, you have to live within your means. That's the golden rule.
Live within your means. Holy, that's a new one.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Maybe that's what got us into this mess. Boy, oh boy. Well, you're listening to the Real Estate Radio Network with Ron Siegel, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, John, Mike, and I are going to continue our discussion on the long-term benefits of home ownership and how to purchase these foreclosed homes on the courthouse steps. Remember to reach me anytime. Call our off-air number, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990, or realestateradio.com. And you can connect with us on Facebook as well. Stay tuned to the Real Estate Radio Network. We'll be back in just a few.
She's the one they're going to miss in lots of ways.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.com for more info. That's realestateradio.com.
Are you tired of losing money due to the risk associated with the stock, bond, and real estate markets? Well, there's a new asset class in town that has captured the wisdom of Warren Buffett. According to the Wall Street Journal and CNN Money, Buffett has invested billions into this asset class that offers safety, security, diversification, and superior return potential. For years, the smaller investors have been locked out of this investment. Hi, I'm John Muratore, President of Pacific Partners, Inc., a financial service company, and I would like to ask you a question. If this asset is good enough for Warren Buffett, is it good enough for you? Call us today to set up a free, no-obligation appointment to discuss your finances and an investment solution that can meet your needs. For complete details, call us at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990, and tell us you want what Warren has.
Have you asked your employer what kind of home mortgage benefits your company offers? Cal Home Benefits has a complete range of home and mortgage benefits, which can save you $5,000 to $10,000 on your living expenses, and the benefit program is completely free to California businesses and groups. If your company or group is not offering home and mortgage benefits, please visit calhomebenefits.com or call 1-800-998-1990. That's 1-800-998-1990. It's free to the organization and can save you thousands.
Reverse mortgages are loans against the equity of a senior American's home. With a reverse mortgage, the homeowner can convert their home equity into cash. It also benefits homeowners in many other ways. With most types of loans, the lender verifies your income and uses that income to determine the amount you'll be able to pay. You don't have to satisfy the monthly repayments with a reverse mortgage. Homeowners over the age of 62 years may apply for a reverse mortgage even without any income. For more information about reverse mortgages, just call our off-air number at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990, or visit realestateradio.com and click the free workshop button.
Have you been to car dealers only to be disappointed by their small inventory? That's not the case at Connell Nissan in Costa Mesa. The Connell family has been serving the community for well over 40 years. Connell Nissan in Costa Mesa wants to buy your car or truck. That's right. Go to ConnellNissan.com to receive your estimated value 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's CONNELL Nissan.com. Or better yet, take the 405 freeway, Harbor Boulevard exit, go south towards the beach about 1 mile to Connell Nissan in Costa Mesa.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio with local expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Radio Network. I, of course, am Ron Siegel, joined today by John Muratore and Mike Dunn. Thank you for joining me, gentlemen.
Thank you, Ron.
We're continuing our conversation now with Mike. And again, if you need to reach Mike or want to reach Mike, I would highly recommend you call me. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or you can send me a message at realestateradio.com, and I'll put you in touch with Mike if you want to get more information about purchasing homes at the foreclosure, at the courthouse steps, or the short sales. Mike also does a lot of listings. Like I think I might have shared, maybe I didn't share Mike. I actually heard of Mike initially. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law bought a couple of houses from Mike. My condolences to you on that, Mike. But I guess you get to deal with all kinds.
It's all good. It's all good.
It's all good. This is an interesting article that from the listing side, I kind of hit you with on this one, Mike. It's 10 strategies for improving your chances of getting a fair appraisal. Now, in 2009, we had one of our government bills.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
That particular bill was about appraisers and not allowing the lenders to talk to the appraisers, so we can't vet them to find out if they're going to do a good job for the homeowners. But this article that came out, again, you can get it on the Facebook site, has some strategies for dealing with appraisers. And the number one strategy was, don't be afraid to talk to the appraiser. Number 2, supply all the potential relevant data. And here's a big one. Number 3, make note of all communication, written or spoken, with the appraiser. And then talk to your lender or agent about what's going on so that they can, if there's something that's not accurate, it can be addressed. It's hard to get an appraisal redone, but to try and get it to help them get the accurate appraisal. And I'm not ever saying that you should do an inaccurate appraisal. I don't think any of us want that. And none of us profess that ahead of time, not the ethical people in the industry. And I think most of the unethical ones have washed out now. We still have all the legislation against those of us that remain, but I think we went down from 740,000 lenders or loan officers to now about 100,000. Washed the bad ones out. So we don't want the unethical things, but I think that's some good information.
Oh, that's excellent information. In fact, every time there's an appraisal and you're the listing agent, it's your duty to show up with all your recent sales. And basically, our job as salespeople never ends. We have to show the appraiser that it is worth what the value or the purchase price is. Now, sometimes the appraisers will use, since in this market there's a lot of short sales closings that are lower than what the real value should be. So technically they're not supposed to use those if there is a regular sale that they can use. But I always show up. I show them the comparables. Since I know the neighborhood, I know why certain houses sell for more, because within every neighborhood there's a better location than another. So, I do my best to show them why it should sell at the agreed-upon purchase price.
So you're basically, again, that's not something that somebody's going to get from the internet, is all that knowledge that you're going to bring to the appraiser.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Every neighborhood has its own positives and amenities. It's not, you can't just blanket say, well, if a house is located here, it's worth this much. For example, in my neighborhood, there's a award-winning school that's within a mile of any house in the neighborhood, and that is huge for people, especially
absolutely
kindergarten, elementary school age. And knowing that, people are willing to pay more than they would if the school was located farther away. So things like that are big for young families, and that's important for the appraiser to know because people are willing to pay more for that.
And I would assume with an appraiser, they're going to be covering a huge area, maybe 100 square miles, more than that. They might be going from Los Angeles to Oceanside like this station is.
Mm-hmm.
And how can they know about a school in a specific neighborhood unless there's a professional telling them?
Exactly, and that's why I show up and I give them a map of the neighborhood, show them where all the amenities are. I show them which schools are located close by, all the amenities, swimming pools, tennis courts, and shopping, things like that. So I kind of have to give them a mini sort of elevator speech on the neighborhood, if you will, where I've only got a few minutes to show them why this house is worth this much.
And are they open to that information from you?
Well, absolutely. Like you mentioned earlier, some of them are traveling 50 miles away for the bank. They're covering a large area, so they want to know that because they want to make sure that they get it right.
So you can actually make their job easy. And we know that, if they're doing a lot of them, since this new law went into effect, we know that the appraisers have had their income slashed because they've stuck another layer of profit in between. So if you can make their job easier, they're going to like it. They're going to get a better appraisal. The client's going to do better. The lender, in our case, we're going to be happier. And we're going to get that job done for the homeowner.
Absolutely. It's as a professional, that's our job. We try to make things easier for our clients, not only on the listing side, but everybody, escrow, title, appraisers, and that makes it a smooth transaction, which is what we need, especially in this market.
And this market's pretty challenging. There's a lot of people that have, the newbies, I should say, have really just haven't seen a market like this. Most of us that have been around for a long time, I started in real estate with watching my mom in the 70s, so we've seen a couple of these ups and downs. The guys that just got into it last year and the year before, they probably don't know about that a real estate can go down. Mm-hmm. John, you've seen some ups and downs too, haven't you?
I sure have in all my years.
Yeah, it's going back to 78 in the lending side.
Yeah, I started out in the finance business, so I've seen quite a bit of things going on during the years and all the ups and downs with the interest rates and the markets. And, you just got to, like Mike said earlier, you got to be patient, and it's important to deal with a professional in this market. So, as Mike mentioned earlier.
Yeah, that's a big thing. And, I love all the technology. I'm a technology nerd. Anything that comes out, I like to have. I enjoy it. But there's no replacement for experience. You can't find on the internet the accurate information that's going to tell you what somebody who's been doing this, and an all-star. I love that comment in there, an all-star in the industry. So I'm thrilled that you've come in to share with us, Mike. We're running out of time here, so John, thanks for coming in. I appreciate having you guys sharing this information with people. Again, call us on our off-air number. Great show today. Again, thanks to John Muratore of Pacific Partners. If you want to talk to him, give me a holler. Mike Dunn of Coldwell Banker Platinum Properties. Also, thank you to all of our sponsors and, of course, our 7 listeners for spending a little time this weekend with us. We've got some great shows lined up. Next weekend, I've got a lady coming in from the desert. She's going to talk to us about purchasing homes out in the Palm Springs area and how you can rent them out and have it cost you absolutely nothing to live there. The following week, I've got an attorney coming in. I always get nervous with attorneys, and I spent yesterday doing this show, this seminar, all with attorneys. That really made me nervous until I thought about the fact that I'm in the mortgage business, and I think on the food chain, I think we're below attorneys. So, but when we come back, and we know that we're the ones. Yeah, it's close. But he's going to come in and talk about how the California courts are forcing lenders to look at loan modifications and short sales prior to starting a foreclosure proceeding. It's a new law that went into effect in October. A lot of people don't know that the state court is getting involved in that. So we've got some really exciting stuff coming up. I'm going to try and get a credit repair expert on that same show with us if we can. But thank you all for listening. Call us if you have any questions, anything about real estate, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or you can reach us at realestateradionetworkwithron.com. Go to the Facebook page, Real Estate Radio with Ron. All that's pushed together. That's it. Have a great weekend or week, SoCal. Thanks a lot.
Our house in the middle of our street. Our house in the middle of our house in the middle of our street. Someone tells you that you've got to in the middle of our. Father gets up late for work. Mother has to iron his shirt. Then she sends the kids to school. Sees them off with a small kiss. She's the one they're going to miss in lots of ways.